Welcome to Inside Tulsa Athletics. On our show today, we will feature Nikki Dennis and Jen Sanders and the new approach to recruiting, interviewing, hiring prospective teachers and coaches. We'll also hear from the athletics directors from Memorial, Hale, McLain, and Central about their coaching positions and their student athletes. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back with Nikki Dennis, Jen Sanders from the Talent Management Office, Tulsa Public Schools. Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Our first guests today are two of the newest members of the Talent Management Office, Nikki Dennis and Jen Sanders. Welcome to the show.
Thanks. Good to be here.
Old friends.
Yes, old friends.
And
right.
Colleagues, but a new position.
New job, new challenge.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Let's first of all, you've been the principal, and a coach and a teacher, and you've been the athletic director, and the coach, and the teacher, and so on. And now you're transitioning into a recruiting, hiring role. How do you make that transition?
Well, I think any good principal or coach or athletic director, they are recruiters. You are recruiting either candidates for your team, like teachers for my school, or you're recruiting parents to support the school or assistant coaches. So I think it's kind of in your blood, or it should be in your blood if you're good at building a team, which a coach and an athletic director does. And even as a coach, I was recruiting kids within the school.
Sure.
Because when I first started out, I coached tennis and softball. I didn't have any kids, so I had to figure out how to get the kids inside the school interested in the sport.
Yeah, I would echo exactly what Nikki says. We're really selling everything that Tulsa Public Schools has to offer. So it's kind of what we did as coaches. Come to our school. This is where we want you to be as an assistant coach, or even with students. So I think for us, it's really important to make sure that we're telling Tulsa's story and what it's like to be involved at Tulsa Public Schools, what it's like to be hired at Tulsa Public Schools, and the support that you'll receive being a teacher or a coach or a para or a teacher's assistant at Tulsa Public.
I've always said storytelling is selling.
Absolutely.
You tell the right story, you'll make the sale.
That's right.
From a personal standpoint, though, you're not at the school at 7:30 with 800 kids coming at you. It's different now. How do you handle that?
So I have gone to a lot of athletic events. I have to tell you, I was at the Rogers East Central soccer game the other night. What is different, I think, is I am recruiting at a larger scale for more positions. But I think it's really important to understand the story I'm telling. And one of the things that hit me, I think, just like the first week I was at TPS, I thought, wow, if I'm a young, interested coach, for instance, or speech and debate person, or drama teacher, how many opportunities there are in a district like Tulsa Public Schools that has smaller schools. You think about Jinx, great athletic program, great speech and debate, but they only have one head football coach, and they only have one head speech and debate teacher. In Tulsa Public Schools, we have 9 high schools and 10 middle schools. That's 19 opportunities that don't exist in the suburbs. And I thought we needed to start telling that story, that, if you're interested in finding opportunities that challenge you, that Tulsa Public Schools is a great place to land.
What about your transition?
Well, I'm still out there recruiting coaches like crazy. The majority of, I just think I'm a little bit easier, a little more accessible to our athletic directors. So, when they're asking about, do we have any candidates in the pipeline for this position or that position? And then I'm obviously able to send out, hey, these folks are looking for coaching positions. They're already in our candidate pool. They'd love to coach. And so I think it's hopefully making it easier for our ADs to hire folks a little faster.
I think that was something that was not available, and we were always looking. It seems like 4 or 5 different people were looking for the same thing,
Right.
but we couldn't communicate what we needed in there. As you look at your overall perspective, where would you say that Tulsa is today as far as looking for coaches, or teachers?
Well, I wanted Jen to tell the story about how she looks at people that apply for athletic coaching job, and I think that's a good start.
So I think that we have an adjunct coaches application, and right as I started this job, I just started going through those applications and noticed that many of those folks had bachelor's degrees. And so I'm thinking, well, wonder what job they do. They want to coach. And so we were able to reach quite a few applicants that said, actually, yeah, I kind of would want to teach. I just didn't know that I could. I thought I had to have a teaching degree. So then we went through the whole scenario of how as long as you have a bachelor's degree, we have a great program called Tulsa Teacher Corps. And through that program, we really teach them how to go and be a teacher. And they get all of this training. And not only do they get the training, they also get paid to do the training. And then they no longer have to pay for any more college courses. So we're one of the only programs in the state that can actually help get a person that has their bachelor's degree certified.
What an outstanding opportunity.
Yeah.
For somebody out there that doesn't know that opportunity's there. Well, we'll be back, and when we come back in our next segment, we'll get a little bit more in depth about what you're really doing as far as the recruitment. We'll be back after these messages.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right, only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale's means that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. We continue with Jen Sanders and Nikki Dennis, the two newest employees in talent management. And we're talking about now how many jobs are open.
We have a few, and Nikki can tell a little bit more about how we kind of group our jobs into. Go ahead, Nikki.
Well, I think what's interesting, and that's why we came up with the tagline, One Team, Unlimited Possibilities, is Tulsa's the third largest employer in Tulsa Public Schools is the third largest employer in Tulsa County. And so we don't just hire teachers. I mean, you often think of school districts as teachers and coaches and teaching assistants, but we have accountants, we have attorneys, we have technology people, we have data processing, we have translators, we have maintenance and operations. I mean, it's a huge industry, education is. And so we have positions that are finite, which is, I need to hire 3 guys that are mechanics to work on our buses. And then we have positions that never close, like we always have teacher openings. We always have substitute openings. We always have clerk openings. And so I think the best thing for people to do is to go to the website, pull down a job. We have a Join Team Tulsa email, which is easy to find. And then we'll answer any questions that someone has about a position.
Are there a place they can go to see the listing of the positions?
Yes, at the careers page on. Go ahead.
Tulsa Public Schools /careers. You'll find all of our job openings there, and it's a little drop-down menu, and it goes forever that you can see all the jobs that we have available. And then once you click into that application, you just start filling it out. You put your name and your email and your phone number, and then we will start pressuring you to keep applying. So,
Well, one thing that I think is important that the public knows about that is the system that we use for people to apply through is Fountain. And Fountain isn't a database. And so one thing I think is important is when you apply, you'll get a link, and it's important to hang on to that link. And people can apply for multiple jobs. You know, if you want to be a secretary at a school, if you want to be a teacher, if you want to be a data processor, I mean, there's multiple positions that you can apply for, and you'll get multiple links to go back and finish
I think that's one of the things that you mentioned earlier. People don't realize this is a big business. It's not just the classroom. You know, we have police officers. We have maintenance. We have people who mow grass. We have. I'll never forget when I was at Northeastern. I was sitting in the president's office one day, and it is the quintessential thing that you need to think about. Outside his window, the guy was weed eating, and it was so loud we couldn't hardly talk. And he said, "You know what, Coach? Here's the deal. That guy is just as important as the two guys in this room. Because if those parents bring their kids up here and we don't mow the grass, you're not going to take care of my kid." So it takes a lot of different types of things to build a school. And I think a lot of people don't realize that.
Could I add one thing?
Sure.
The other thing I think is important that people understand is there's lots of opportunities to grow. So we have a person that works for Tulsa Public Schools that started as a custodian while she was in college, became a teacher, an assistant principal, a principal, an ILD, and is now, an executive director. I had a friend in a different district that started out as a secretary, became a teaching assistant, moved on to be a principal, a teacher, a principal, and was the superintendent of schools. So I think that people, a school district like Tulsa Public Schools is a place you can grow in. You can start, at a level that doesn't require a lot of education and move on and really grow in our industry.
I used to tell my players the only limitation you have is yourself.
Absolutely.
It's up to you every day.
Absolutely.
All right, ladies, why TPS?
well, and to Nikki's point, I would agree. Like, had I not moved to Tulsa and taken a job as the girls basketball coach and a history teacher at Nathan Hale High School, I would not have probably pursued a graduate degree. I would not have pursued an executive director degree, position. So I do believe that here in Tulsa, you get folks that really encourage you to grow, and you learn so many things along the way that it pushes you. It pushes you to make the school system better. It pushes you to make sure that for me, I want to make sure I'm hiring the best folks for Tulsa kids. And so, like Nikki said, like the opportunity to grow, and then also, you have the opportunity to, if you're working in a position, in Tulsa, and you don't have the same schedule as your kids, it makes it difficult for you. So Nikki came up with this tagline, and I love it because it really truly embodies what Tulsa Public Schools is about.
Which one? One team, unlimited possibilities.
That's right. One team, unlimited possibilities.
I do think the last thing I want to say is, I have such meaningful relationships with people through working in education. As a teacher, as a coach, as a principal, and now even, I'm not in the school, but I'm developing relationships with people outside of a schoolhouse that are really meaningful. And I know that happens in other industries, but I think the difference is I can go to bed at night and know that I've really made a difference in the lives of children's future and I'm contributing to the city of Tulsa.
The business we're in a business. The thing is, our product are human beings.
Absolutely.
We're turning out human beings. Ladies, thank you for being here. Good luck in your recruitment this spring and summer. And we'll have you back in the fall and see how we did.
Absolutely. Thank you.
When we come back, we'll have Mark Dover, who is the Director of Athletics at Memorial.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field, and that it's the littlest things that will make all the difference in the long run.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with, not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have the Director of Athletics of the Memorial Chargers, Mark Dover. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
Well, Mark, how long have you been at Memorial?
So I started off as an adjunct coach, and that was 16 years ago. And I've been in education now for 12 years. This is my 9th year as athletic director and my 4th year as a dean.
Hey, so you've got a well-rounded experience.
Yes.
From adjunct to full-time. Yeah. That's probably very beneficial and when you look for coaches. Tell us about your program. How many programs do you have? How many sports do you sponsor?
So starting next year, including wrestling, which we're restarting, we offer every athletic sport that the OSSA sponsors. So basketball, football, softball, both slow pitch and fast pitch, cross country, track, soccer, golf, tennis. Everything. And then, we've got the non-athletic side of things with the band and competitive speech and debate and academic bowl.
Yeah. So you have the full boat.
Yes.
Yeah. That keeps the athletic director busy.
Yeah, it does.
Especially when he's mean to Dean too.
I know.
So as you look at your program, how many full-time coaches do you have? And how many adjunct do you have?
So we've got 18 coaches that are classified or certified, and then we have 9 adjunct coaches that come in just for athletics. We've really put an emphasis on having coaches that are in our building, but we've also we've really bridged the gap between the middle school and the high school. And so we've been discussing, as we fill positions, how we can help the middle school staff with teachers and with our athletic coaches, or vice versa. They're going to the middle school to coach, and maybe they work at the high school during the day.
That's so quintessential, I think, to success. You tie those kids to staff members, they get used to, they'll stay in the feeder pattern,
right,
and not wanting to go somewhere else. And it's good to be able to have those folks work in both buildings because they understand the mentality of the program and so on. It's just essential. As you look at your current opening, how many current openings do you have now?
Currently, like I said, we're going to restart wrestling next school year. We have had an influx of participants at the middle school level for wrestling. So we are looking for head wrestling for boys and girls wrestling. And then they'll get to pick their assistants. But we've just made a decision on girls basketball head coach. And so there's somebody that I'm really looking forward to work with, but he'll be able to pick his own staff too.
Mm-hmm. Does that cause you a staffing issue, or do they have to be adjunct? Or
no, we do. We have some openings. We've got some teaching openings, but we've also got some classified staff with paraprofessionals or teachers' assistants. But if they are able to be an adjunct and they're able to be there throughout the day, here and there, and they're able to be in the hallways after they do their certification criteria, we accept them in our hallways to kind of pick up and just be a face around the school.
Sure, that's also important. Great to have a great working relationship with your principal.
Oh yeah, it's excellent. She's one of the best I've ever worked with.
For the principal to understand the activities program and how essential it is to a smoothing run curriculum that you have at your school is always a benefit to the athletic director, I think. As you look at your positions, what have become the toughest positions for you to solve?
We've seen some difficulty with girls basketball. Just, anytime that we interview anybody, we're always looking for longevity. And in recent past, it's just been, it seems like every year we're looking to interview somebody. In the past, before we had to cut the wrestling program in, I think, 2017, when we were going through that budget crisis, wrestling was in the same boat. We were looking for a wrestling coach every year. And again, we just really want somebody that's committed to the kids and wants to be there year in, year out.
Mm-hmm. You had some good wrestling coaches in the in the history of that. I can remember, I did my student teaching at Memorial, and Gerald Williams was the wrestling coach. He was the Big Six champion at Oklahoma State. So you had some pretty good people. But the numbers of prospects are not what they used to be either, because college wrestling has kind of been one of the unfortunate casualties in budget cuts at that level as well. There's not as many. Well, as you look forward to the spring, you feel like you'll have everything flanged up and everything before school's out?
Yeah, I feel really confident. Obviously, we want to get our people in position so that they're in place before like spring football or, summer leagues or summer team camps. Those are kind of the emphasis right now. And then when school's over, we'll have our tryouts and hopefully everything's greased wheel by then.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. Mark, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
And good luck in your searches.
Thank you.
We certainly hope that you get the right folks and the right job, and I'm sure I'll be out to see a game or two in the future.
Great.
Have a lot of time to do that now. Thanks for being here.
Thanks.
And when we come back, we'll have Shane Keim, the Director of Athletics at Hale High School.
Hey, Tulsa, we have a crushing recycle play of the day for you. Team Johnson versus paper and cardboard.
They're starting off slow today, probably trying to figure out what to do with those styrofoam plates, since they're not recyclable.
There's the big play we were waiting for. Boom! Completely empty cardboard boxes dunked in the cart. Score big by recycling your cardboard and paper. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, your team will always be there for you.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and now we have the Director of Athletics, the Hale Rangers, Shane Keim. Shane, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you for having me back. It's always a joy to come and shoot the breeze a little bit with you.
Yeah, we're just having a discussion.
That's all.
Well, let me tell you, how long have you been at Hale?
Well, so just finished my 6th year as athletic director. I've been there for a total of 11 now.
And went to school there.
Yeah. More than half my life been spent over in that building.
That's right. That's excellent. As you get into this our show today, obviously talking about recruitment of students and our coaches and so on. Tell us about your program. How many athletic programs do you have?
So we offer a full complement outside of, we don't do tennis, golf, or swimming. So we have 13 programs. We do our best to fill as many opportunities as we can for kids because we feel that's important. Even if we're low numbers on a program, we want to still provide that opportunity. Sure. And so we really push to keep everything rolling that we have.
In your role, do you also deal with the non-athletic OSSA?
Yeah, I do. And so we still have band and we have show choir, speech and debate, academic team. The academic team has been some of the most fun events we've had all year long. Those are great. I love going to those.
Yeah, it's neat. It really is neat. As you look at your staff, tell us about how many full-time teacher coaches and how many adjuncts.
We made a really concerted effort to try to get as many coaches in the building as possible. So I have 21 coaches in the building.
Gee, and that's great.
Yeah, it's great. I have 8 adjuncts, all assistants. But all of our head coaches are certified staff members in the building.
That's fantastic. And that comes with a lot of help from your principal.
Absolutely. Yeah. She's a big supporter of, what we try to do. And, we stay on the same page most of the time. And then when we're not on the same page, she finds a way to get me on her page,
Absolutely. It's simple. No, I tell you what, I think that's when the principal realizes how valuable the activities program is, whether it's speech and debate or football.
Yeah, absolutely.
To keep kids engaged and keep them coming to school, then it makes your job a lot easier.
Yeah, and I've created, some headaches for her in hiring a bunch of people inside the building, because then the 7th or 8th hour athletics rolls around and they're wondering, where's everybody at? Well, they all got to go coach. And so she's been really good about working with me on that, and we kind of balance a very fine line with how we handle that. But it's something that we're proud of, because it keeps those coaches in front of the student athletes as much as possible. And that's really what it's all about.
Well, it is. Having that day-to-day contact is so essential to keep them engaged academically
absolutely.
as well as athletically. So what jobs do you have open now?
Well, I've got a few. It's been, it's that time of year where it just kind of, coaches have a nature of moving around, and we've kind of dealt with a little bit of that this year. And so right now, I'm looking for a head girls basketball coach. That's an important hire for us, because it's a program that we're really wanting to get somebody in and develop that program. Hale basketball as a whole has a history of success. And so we want to get somebody in and really kind of inject some life into that specific program. I've got a head volleyball position open right now, and then a couple of assistants, soccer assistants, an assistant volleyball, a couple of things like that. But our two big ones that we're really looking at right now, those are our two head spots that we're looking to fill.
And those are important.
Absolutely.
Very important positions. So as you look at the overall prospects, what are the hardest jobs for you to fill?
It depends on different years, it feels like. Typically, the hardest thing for me to fill is assistants in the building. But, we look, women's sports, our girls' sports programs, it can be hard to fill some of those roles sometimes, especially like something like a softball or a volleyball. It's kind of a niche, a coaching area. And so those can be difficult to fill.
I think the availability of prospective coaches is a lesser number than in the male end. And that makes it difficult, I think, when you look for those positions. How many of them go on to college,
right,
and want to play and want to coach. And then the commitment to coaching is difficult, because men and women have different goals in their life and things they want to do.
There's a whole barrel of football assistant coaches every single year, but it's finding a good a volleyball coach, which is something that we're looking for right now. That's a narrowed search, and you got to be very deliberate with that.
And that's an essential program for your girls' sports program.
Absolutely.
Well, Shane, thanks for being here today.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll have you back in the fall and see how you did on your hiring.
Yeah, hopefully well. Yeah.
When we come back, we'll have Jamar Louie, who is the Director of Athletics of the McLain Titans.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right. Only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
I feel like athletics is so important at Tulsa Central because it's an outlet for some of our kids there. They get a better opportunity to basically give back to our community.
At McLain, the sports is what mainly drives a bunch of the students to come to school every single day and work hard, because they want to be able to come from the classroom to the field or the court and show at what they're good at.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and now we have Jamar Louie, who is the Director of Athletics, McLain Titans. Jamar, welcome to the show.
Thanks.
It's good to be out of the school for just a little bit.
Yeah.
No pressure here.
Yeah.
So how long have you been at McLain?
I've been at McLain for a total of 11 years. The different positions I've held, I started off as the physical education teacher. And then in my second year, I became the assistant with basketball, and I was the head coach for middle school when we had the 7th and 8th grade. Then I transitioned from there to being the Trace satellite instructor. And then from that point, they promoted me to dean. And this year is my first year as athletic director.
I see. So you're the dean and the athletic director?
Yes, sir.
That's full time.
Yes, definitely. There's no days off.
No days off at all. Well, you've got a great background, I think, to lead not only the students but the athletic program as well, because you've spent time in the building and you know the culture, and that's always important, I think, to understand. One of the things that always was interesting to me, having spent 15 years at Union and looking at Tulsa, having gone to a Tulsa school, I never realized that every environment is different at each school. It's just totally different, and you got to get into that environment to be able to be successful with those kids.
I definitely agree. I think that we've actually at McLain, we've created the climate that we want, or the type of kids we want a part of our programs. I want to say this year academically has been the most successful. Like when I check eligibility, man, we have pretty much everybody eligible to play. Kids are in being leaders in the classroom. So it's just a great dynamic with our school.
I think your coaches help with that some, don't you?
Yes, definitely.
Their expectation and how they want things to turn out. Well, how many full-time coaches, teacher coaches, and how many adjuncts do you have?
Well, actually, with our wrestling program, our coaches with the wrestling program are all in the building. So they're with TPS. The basketball coaches, including myself, Coach Rutherford, worked for TPS as well. Coach Ziegler was an adjunct coach who assisted us with the 9th grade with basketball. As far as the football coaches, we're currently in transitioning 2 coaches in, but they're in our building as well. So all of the football coaches are a part of TPS as well.
I think that's a bonus.
Yeah.
For those kids to be able to see their coach every day in the hall and in a different setting other than coaching, that's good. So what current openings do you have now?
Currently, we're trying to fill the position for the head coach for our girls basketball team. And we think that our program is headed in the right direction. It's unfortunate that our coaches, made the choice to step away, but we're looking to fill that with a great leader. We have everybody returning from that team. We had no seniors. So it should be an experienced team that the coach will be walking into.
Are you getting a lot of applications for the job?
Yes, we've had a lot of applications. We've had about 6 or 7, and I've reviewed their resumes. We plan on interviewing some more coaches this week.
Excellent. What, in your experience, what has been the most difficult positions to fill?
Well, currently we're still trying to hire for our soccer program. I think that's been pretty difficult for us because the interest just isn't there like it used to be. I think the other sports programs are they fill themselves with basketball and football. So we just look forward to having great leaders in our building and just trying to be mentors for our kids.
Soccer is one of those that there's not a lot of available prospects to coach soccer, you know, and when soccer started years and years ago, adjunct coaches were pretty much frowned upon by the OSSAA even. And my first 2 coaches at Union were both adjuncts. Now they both had played for the Roughnecks, so that was not bad. But it was hard to find because there weren't that many graduates from college soccer programs.
Yeah.
Well, Jamar, tell us just a little bit about, we got a second here, about your role as dean. How does that work with your role as the athletic director?
Well, it doesn't, I mean, I can see where it could be a little gray area, but, you know, I set aside each duty. So my duty to the student body as a dean and as far as discipline wouldn't affect me as an athletic director because, you know, my integrity wouldn't allow me to do so.
Sure.
So with the dean, I just do discipline. With the athletics, I'll focus on athletics and making sure our students are eligible to play and that they have good sportsmanship and are coachable.
Well, I'm glad we have you out there.
Yeah, I'm glad to be in TPS.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Come back. We'll have you in the fall, see how things turned out.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
When we come back, we'll have Nate Goodman, who's the director of athletics for the Central Braves.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against a tough competitor, plastic.
Don't trust those numbers on the bottom. You have to stick to what you know. Only bottles and jugs found in the kitchen, bath, or laundry. They're quick to pick up. And empty those bottles before sinking that shot.
Always empty your bottles before recycling. Score big by recycling your plastic bottles and jugs. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
I love Will Rogers Athletics because it helped me physically, spiritually, and emotionally through all the journeys I've been through at that school. All of the support staff helped me a lot, and it's just an amazing school.
Athletics at Will Rogers changed my life because it became a second family. With the support of my coaches and teammates, it's helped me gain confidence, work as a team, and will help me in college and in life.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics. Now we have the director of athletics, Central Braves, Nate Goodman. Nate, welcome to the show.
Thank you. How you doing, man? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Things going good at Central?
It's going pretty good. We are in the process of looking for a few coaches. So,
well, that's what we're going to talk about today. Let me ask you, how long have you been at Central?
This is my 7th year at Central, 11 years with Tulsa Public Schools. So,
and how long have you been the athletic director?
I've been the athletic director at Central for 4 years. So.
Easy job, right?
I'd be lying if I told you. I tell you, no 2 days are the same, so that makes it worth it.
It's a different, changing atmosphere every day.
Yes,
the
sir.
Environment. You have kids and coaches and parents and everything that you have to deal with on a daily basis. As you tell us about your program, how many programs do you have, and how many sports?
Right now, we offer boys and girls basketball, football, boys and girls track, boys and girls soccer, and I think that is volleyball. Volleyball is really flourishing right now. We are looking to, well, not looking, we are adding wrestling back to the fold this year, and we are working on, we got a few girls that want to play tennis, so we've been trying to figure out how to make that happen. So it's just been a process of the retention piece, trying to keep coaches and growing those programs to where they need to be.
That's a big thing. A lot of people don't realize is that continuity and retention of staff is really critical to
Yes,
success.
sir.
When you got kids looking forward to playing for coaches, and that changes every 2 or 3 years. That's difficult. That's a hard task for you. As you look at your program, say for instance today, what jobs do you have open today?
Today we have the head boys varsity basketball. We have wrestling. We have middle school boys and girls basketball, and head girls soccer. So,
how many coaches as you break it up? And we've forever had to utilize adjunct coaches to fill out our staff. But how many full-time and how many adjuncts do you have?
So full-time, what we try to do at Central is we try to hire at least a head coach to be in the building to kind of hold that culture and build the culture. And a good rapport with the kids. They can check on them, throughout the day. So all of our head coaches are in the building. They are full-time coaches. Adjunct, we probably have around 9, and those are mostly assistants. We have 3 or 4 on the football side, 2 on the basketball. Well, we had 2 on the basketball. We have 2 on girls basketball. And we've been really blessed to have a lot of coaches that are in the building, even assistants. And I think that just helps the overall culture of the school. Believe it or not, people might not want to hear this, but I know you understand. I think that sports dictate a lot of the school culture as far as behavior, school spirit, and things of that nature. So having those coaches that are there to hold kids accountable, it helps us out a lot.
Coach, there's no question about that. When I was recruiting and coaching at Kansas State, Southeast Kansas was my area, and so I went down into a school. I won't say the name of the school, and my gosh, they were throwing cherry bombs out of the second floor. It was dirty, filthy dirty. It was in the fall. We had an open date, so we were on the road, and they were like 1-7 in football. The next year, same open date, same school. I walk up. My gosh, it's quiet. There's education going on. I go to the principal's office because one of the NCAA rules is you have to check into the office. And I said, "What is going on here?" And he said, "Hey, Coach, we're 7-1."
It matters. Winning matters.
It makes a difference, and to have those programs, I think, are essential. Well, I think one of the things that advantages you have, I think, is that Jason Gilly is a good guy to be the principal.
He is, as a coach, a principal can make or break your job. Mr. Gilly is one of those guys who doesn't micromanage. He pushes you to become a leader. Now, he will step in where he needs to, but for the most part, he's there for more of a consultant, almost a guidance to lead. And I've never had a principal as hands-on as Mr. Gilly. I mean, if it's taking out the trash, he's going to do that. He rarely misses a game. The other day, I caught him at a soccer game. We probably had about 10 people in the stands, but Mr. Gilly was sitting down there cheering with our English teacher, Miss Simpson. So he's very hands-on, and he loves sports. So that helps out a lot in the athletic world when you got a principal that appreciates sports.
And can find those jobs on your staff.
Yes, sir.
I think in the building. You know, we have a lot that can't do that, and the principals that do have pretty good programs and so on. Well, appreciate you being here today. Good luck on your searches.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Got the basketball and wrestling. That's the wintertime. That's the whole wintertime.
Yes, it is a task.
Well,
so
good luck,
I
and
appreciate it.
we'll have you back sometime.
Yes, sir.
And when we come back, we'll have Marlon Houston from the central office talk about recruiting wrestling coaches.
Hey Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Edison High School has taught me to work as a team rather than as an individual. Whenever you're on a team, you have a special bond with each other. You know you can rely on them in a time of need, whether on or off the court. Whether it be a shoulder to cry on or advice on how you can improve, you know your team will always be there for you.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and now we have Marlon Houston, Assistant Director of Athletics for the district, but his main focus will be wrestling. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Well, Marlon, I know that you're working daily to improve our wrestling program in TPS, and it needs to be. We at one time had a storied wrestling history in Tulsa Public Schools. So what have you found that your biggest challenges are as you start putting these programs in both high school and middle school?
My biggest challenges is finding enough wrestling coaches. We're blessed as far as our middle schools go. We have a wrestling coach in every middle school, except one. So we're working to try to find a coach for that middle school, and that's East Central Middle School. I spoke with their athletic director, The search is still on. As far as high school goes, biggest challenge is finding enough of them. We're searching for head wrestling coaches, but to find the assistant to come along with that is challenging. But I think the biggest reason finding assistants are hard because we're just now putting programs into certain schools, and once those programs continue to grow and the word gets out, and the other sport coaches that's offered out of season when wrestling's offered, that will help them bring in assistants as well.
Mm-hmm. Is the pool available? Is college wrestling at a point where we're graduating enough people that are qualified to be wrestling coaches?
I'm fairly surprised. We're not just getting the number of applicants that you would obviously for football or basketball, but 3 to 5 applicants per school, enough to where you could have a healthy interview pool, which is really good. And then also, because I'm helping with 9 different high schools, I'm able to connect some of the applicants with other schools. Might be a better fit for them, might be a better fit for the school. So, that's really been a big help. And as far as the reputation of what we're trying to do here at Tulsa Public Schools, the word's out. I get a lot of references from other coaches, or they'll mention to some of their contacts, Tulsa's hiring wrestling coaches right now. So that's really helped. There's definitely a buzz about us growing the programs here. And even I even got a phone call from one of the regional coaches associating meetings. They were trying to have some discussions on, reclassifications, and I got a phone call while they were in meeting. It was like, hey, could you tell us what schools are coming in?
Yeah.
So everyone knows what we're trying to do in Tulsa, and that's really been a pretty cool thing that we're getting a reputation like, hey, they're trying to move into the wrestling world.
Yeah. Are all 9 schools be?
All 9 high schools will be offering wrestling next year. We have some wrestling mats that should be coming in. Matter of fact, at the end of this month, and then we're going to regroup and kind of see where the needs are, and the new fiscal year, maybe take another look at what other items we could add to help and support our schools in wrestling.
And how about the middle school program?
Middle school programs, really excited. We finished our first year offering wrestling to the middle schools. All schools participated, except one school wasn't able to get in. But again, they're trying to make sure that that won't be the case this coming year. But it's offered, it's there. They're staffed with coaches, just looking for one, and I think the high schools have really saw the value in their feeder programs, and so it's all hands on deck when it comes to that.
One of the things, as you know, as a former wrestler, that's quintessential is the youth programs. Are we working to develop any youth programs in the different areas?
We have partnered with a youth program. Blue Tea Wrestling has partnered with us and utilize our facility. And also, I've been looking for other youth group programs that could utilize our facilities. We just want to make sure that, they're all TPS, that's for the benefit of our kids.
Right.
We want to make sure the funding will be there for them. We do not want to get in a situation where it's pay to play.
Right.
So, but yes, I have been opening up communications. That's what I'm looking to.
Well, I look forward to having you back in the fall, and we'll talk about how well we did.
Yeah, I'll be excited.
That'll be good. Thanks for being here, Marlon. And when we come back, we'll have Mick Wilson, the Executive Director of Athletics.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is looking to defend their title against aluminum and steel cans.
Bob, most people think of the kitchen for this opponent, but aluminum and steel cans, like empty shaving cream cans, also play extremely well in bathrooms all over Tulsa. That was nothing but bin, Bob.
Wow, right into the bin. Team Johnson has buttoned up another win. Score big by recycling your aluminum and steel cans. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale's mean that you have to be consistent, outgoing, and be dedicated because students at Nathan Hale look up to the football team.
Being an athlete at Nathan Hale has taught me to be confident and disciplined and always to be open-minded and always ready to work with people no matter how difficult it is.
Welcome back to Inside Tulsa Athletics, and our final guest today is the Executive Director of Athletics for the Tulsa Public Schools, Mick Wilson. Mick, welcome to the show. This is the busy time of the year now. We get into spring, and it seems like we start talking about trying to fill all the positions we have for the next year.
It's a big time of preparation for the following year, and again, or for the upcoming year. And it's also a time when we're still trying to celebrate many of our successes, not only with our fall and our winter sports, but really with our spring sports as well. We've still got a lot of teams that are competing and being very highly successful this spring, as well as track and field and some things like that. So it's a busy time, but you try to live in the moment, but you still have to prepare for the upcoming year and kind of have your eyes forward as what the vision's going to be and trying to get positions filled and plans for the upcoming year. But it's an exciting time for sure.
That's one of the things people don't realize about the job as the athletic director. The current season is great, but you got some coming, and you better be ready for those, both staff-wise and scheduling and financially budgeting and so on. It's just an ongoing thing. It never ends.
It is. We spent time not only going through budgets here recently, but also getting ready to put everything on your board agenda items for the upcoming year and trying to be ahead of the curve and trying to allow yourself time to prepare not only our teams and ourselves, but prepare our board and prepare our administration to be ready for that upcoming year. And you want to make sure that we've got everything in line so that we can start smoothly and transition into a new year with a welcoming environment for the kids, so that it's smooth and ready to go.
It is important that a lot of people don't understand it takes time to get things on a board agenda, and you have to anticipate fundraisers, booster clubs approval, out-of-state travel, all of those things that for the consumer, it's mundane to them, but for us, it's essential to get it on there.
It's very important, and again, you also have your eyes on trying to fill staff positions, which again ultimately comes down to board approval for those as well. So you try to do your diligence so that you prepare everyone, especially for those that are guiding the district, that we try to keep them informed and make sure that we've made good plans and that we also have good people in place ready to move forward. And so it's an ongoing process, but it's one that we welcome. And again, it's one that we feel supported and definitely want to move forward with those folks.
Well, it's exciting. Our first guests today on the show were our two newest talent management employees, Nikki and Jen, who we both work with extensively over the last 6 or 7 years, and excited about having them in position to help us with those things.
I think they're going to do a phenomenal job recruiting. In fact, they're already off and running and being able to attract quality teachers and coaches to the district and also other support positions. I think they really got a good grasp of what we need. Jen does, obviously, in athletics, knowing what type of coaches that we're looking for and people that we can get in place. And of course, Nikki, with her administrative experience, being able to locate quality principals, locate quality assistant principals and administrative positions. I think it's going to be a great position for them, and they'll do a really, really good job. Again, being able to take people and fit them into the right place. I think them knowing the culture of our district and knowing all of our different communities, whether it's high school or middle school, they'll see someone and know where they may be a good fit. So I'm excited about the opportunity for them and also how they can lean in and help us as well.
Well, I think it's two real accomplishments for athletics to have those two people, because they have their background in athletics. Both have been coaches, and both are really attuned to what is best for kids. As you look at coaches, Talk about the stipends and how they get paid. And so
Well,
on.
we're looking just through the agreement came back and we're waiting on ratification. But again, our negotiating team, Katie Green and some of her folks, and then as well as the TCTA with Shauna Mott-Wright, they've really moved our district forward with the negotiation of stipends and be able to compensate our coaches and people doing other activities very well. We feel like we've moved into really a higher position in the state to be able to compensate our folks, and thanks to those groups and all the work that they've put in to be able to make our coaches and our other stipends really probably now in the upper third of the state, maybe even a little higher. To see those, it's real encouraging that we're taking care of our folks and rewarding them in a very, very nice way and compensating them well. So really pleased with what they've done. And I know our coaches and our folks in athletics and activities are highly appreciative of those efforts. And again, I am as well, because I know it takes a lot of people, even the budget folks, to be able to make this happen, and a lot of moving parts. And it's really nice. It speaks well to our district, and it speaks well to our commitment to our people to be, again, to not only attract quality people, Gil, but to retain people that are in place that have done a good job and been loyal to the district and want to be a part of that. And so I just see so many positives come from this. And again, we're thankful for everyone involved. And again, thankful to the board on their commitment to, again, take care of our folks. So it's been really nice.
I think that's really good. Recruitment and retention are the two key things.
No question about it. And we're just glad that we've been able to be a part of that.
Mick, thanks for being here today. And we'll have you back. Probably we only have 2 more shows, so we'll probably have you back the last show for sure.
Well, we'll try to see what we can do, Gil. Thank you again.
Stay tuned after these messages.
Hey, Tulsa, welcome back to the top recycling play of the day. Team Johnson is facing off against one tough competitor, glass.
That's right. Only glass bottles and jars are recyclable. Don't even think about sinking a drink in glass or mirror. Always good to empty your glass bottles and jars before recycling.
These two get it, emptying both bottles from far out, and they remove the lids. Score big by recycling your glass bottles and jars. Learn more at TulsaRecycles.com.
Being an athlete at Booker T. Washington has taught me to carry myself with class as an athlete, student, and friend, and to have responsibility on and off the field, and that it's the littlest things that will make all the difference in the long run.
Being an athlete at Memorial High School has taught me to be a better person, because when you play sports, attitude is the main thing you have to deal with. Not just your own, but other people's. It also teaches you to be the bigger person.
We hope you enjoyed today's show in featuring our new approach to recruiting, interviewing, evaluating, and hiring new teachers and coaches. Nikki Dennis, the former principal at Rogers, and Jen Sanders, the former assistant athletics director, are in that office now in talent management. As we enter the last 4 weeks of the athletic season, we want to thank you for your support of our student athletes and our programs. Our students need support now more than ever before, and you can make a difference in a young person's life with encouraging words. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode of Inside Tulsa Athletics.